Italian tanks blowing up everywhere in World War II. Were they the biggest joke on wheels? Yes, and they were killing their own crews. I'm about to drop the top 5 brutal reasons they were absolute disasters, and reason number 3, total sabotage madness that'll shock you. Picture pathetic tin cans getting shredded while German Tigers and Allied Shermans dominate. Think Mussolini doomed his own army? World War II tanks are gods of war. Germany's panzers crush nations overnight. Soviet T-34s laugh at incoming fire. Then Italy shows up with the M13/40, a sad little 14-ton toy against 30-ton monsters. Mussolini talked huge game, but money? Zero. Technology? Stone Age. Footage shows them bogged in North African sand, while British tanks just roll past laughing. Why such an epic disaster? It starts at the top. Politics wrecked everything. His ego was the first killer. Ever think one guy's pride could sink thousands? Italy entered the war in 1940 with ambitious plans, but its military doctrine was still rooted in colonial conflicts from the 1930s, like the invasion of Ethiopia, where light tanks sufficed against less advanced opponents. This mindset delayed the development of heavier, more robust vehicles needed for European warfare. Reason number 1, Mussolini's ego on steroids. He forced designers to rush copycat blitzkrieg tanks, but jammed them with weak Fiat car engines. Those things overheated in desert heat like cheap takeout left in the sun. Imagine crews desperately pushing dead tanks under machine gun fire. Pure nightmare fuel. No real testing, just panic production. A Sherman engine roars. These sputter and die. Was this arrogance or straight stupidity? The Fiat SPA engines, typically around 145 horsepower, simply couldn't provide the reliability or power needed for sustained operations, especially in harsh environments like the North African desert. This led to frequent breakdowns, stranding vehicles and exposing crews to enemy fire. Additionally, the rush to match Germany's early successes meant prototypes were often skipped straight to production, amplifying mechanical flaws that could have been ironed out with more time. Reason number 2, armor thinner than your phone screen. Hull maxed at 30 millimeters thanks to massive steel shortages. Enemy shells punched right through like it was cardboard. Watch a Tiger tank shrug off rounds while an Italian one explodes into confetti. Kaboom! Troops nicknamed them rolling coffins, real stories of men trapped inside burning hulks. How did leaders send soldiers out in these? Insane. But the juiciest scandal, factory-level betrayal. The use of riveted construction, rather than welded plates, was another critical weakness. Italy's industrial limitations meant they couldn't scale up welding technology effectively, unlike Germany or the Allies, which further compromised the armor's integrity. In battles like Operation Compass in 1940 to 1941, British Matilda tanks, with up to 78 millimeters of armor, easily outmatched Italian forces, leading to massive losses. Reason number 3, sabotage and corruption city. Under fascist pressure, angry factory workers straight up forgot to tighten bolts or swapped quality parts for garbage. Bribes everywhere. Tanks shipped missing rivets, engines half-assembled, basically DOA. American factories pumped out reliable winners non-stop. Italy's lines, total chaos. Could a cleaner system have changed North Africa? Was it sabotage or just fascist failure? While direct sabotage in tank factories wasn't as widespread as in later partisan activities after Italy's 1943 armistice, worker dissatisfaction and strikes did contribute to production inefficiencies. Historical records show that Italy's fascist regime struggled with labor unrest, and some slowdowns or subpar workmanship occurred due to morale issues, though the primary problems stemmed from systemic industrial shortcomings rather than organized betrayal. By comparison, the U.S. wartime economy mobilized efficiently, producing tanks with consistent quality control. Reason number 4, tactics straight out of World War I. Commanders charged tanks like old-school cavalry. No radios in early models, total confusion and friendly fire disasters. Training? Almost none. Throw men in and pray. Veteran accounts are brutal. At El Alamein, we were just sitting ducks. Monty picked us off easy. Allies read them like an open book. Why no modern combined arms thinking? Regime arrogance again. Heartbreaking stuff, right? But they tried fixes late. Number 5 is the final nail in the coffin. The lack of radios meant Italian tank units couldn't coordinate effectively, leading to isolated engagements where they were picked off one by one. Italian doctrine emphasized infantry support over independent tank operations, but without proper integration, this resulted in poor performance. Crews, despite their bravery, often lacked experience. The first dedicated tank training center wasn't established until 1941, well after the war had begun. Reason number 5, upgrades that arrived way too late. By 1943, they slapped bigger guns on things like the Semovente 75/18, decent on paper, but Allies captured most and used them against Italy. Hilarious and tragic irony. Total production? Barely 2,500 tanks. United States? Over 50,000 Shermans flooding the field. The math doesn't lie. They were outnumbered and outclassed from day one. But what if things flipped? The Semovente series, essentially self-propelled guns on tank chassis, showed some promise with a 75mm howitzer, but production delays and resource shortages meant only a few hundred were made. Many ended up in German hands after Italy's surrender, further highlighting the logistical failures. Italy's overall tank output was hampered by a duopoly of manufacturers like Fiat and Ansaldo, which stifled innovation and competition. Imagine this. What if Italy dumped Mussolini early, or stole German Tiger blueprints and actually built something fierce? In that timeline, Italian tanks evolve into fast, reliable killers. Maybe they hold North Africa, change the whole war. Fast forward today, Italian engineering dominates Formula One and supercars. Ferrari, Lamborghini, they bounced back huge. Proof they had the talent, just not the leadership back then. Historically, Italy did receive licenses to produce German designs like the Panzer III and IV, but internal industrial politics and shortages prevented any significant output. This speculative scenario underscores how better alliances or reforms might have altered outcomes, though in reality, Italy's pre-war focus on lighter vehicles for mountainous terrain limited adaptability. Despite these flaws, Italian tank crews demonstrated remarkable courage in adverse conditions, facing superior enemies with outdated equipment. The war exposed deep-rooted issues in Italy's military-industrial complex, but post-war, the nation rebuilt its engineering prowess, contributing to global advancements in automotive and aerospace technology.